صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال: سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت: دخل علي بي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: عليك السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ووصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا رب أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام: يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء. فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا. ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله هما، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
Jazakallah, brother, for our brother's prosperity and his increasing blessings. One more salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jazakallah, brother. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear brothers and sisters, khawateen wa hazrat, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we begin tonight, as you know, tonight we are here this evening to commemorate the Shahadat of our seventh Imam, Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, and also the wafat of Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam as well. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. At the same time, tonight we are also here to commemorate the soyam of a marhuma who passed away a few days ago. The Soyam Majlis for Marhuma Dilshad Mahmud, daughter of Mirza Muhammad Ali Beg. So inshallah we will have this majlis tonight, but before we begin, let us first recognize the sponsors for tonight's majlis. That is Mr. and Mrs. Ghulam Haider Akundi, for their marhumin, for your marhumin, and for those that have no one to recite for them Surah Fatiha. And also, one more request to Surah Fatiha for Marhuma Dilshad Mahmud, daughter of Mirza Muhammad Ali Beg, for her as well, Surah Fatiha. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah se dua karte hain कि जो मरहूमीन हैं अल्लाह ताला उनके दर्जात बुलंद करे, और जो फैमिली जो है मरहूमीन के अल्लाह उनको सब्र अता फरमाए, और आज के जो sponsors हैं अल्लाह ताला उनकी तौफीकात में इजाफा फरमाए. The sponsors tonight, may Allah increase their blessings, and for the marhumeen, may He increase their rankings in the hereafter. We are going to start the majlis tonight in the traditional Urdu So Salam and Marsiya, and then followed by the lecture by our very own Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi. After that, the Tabut will be coming out, and then Matam, and after that Ziyarat. So with that, सबसे पहले मैं दरख्वास्त करता हूँ जनाब हाशिम रज़ा साहब से कि वो आएँ और मौला की बारगाह में सो सलाम मरसिया पेश करें. बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत. My dear brothers, if I can kindly ask you, میں جانتا ہوں کچھ لوگ یہاں ہیں, if you can just kindly come up a little bit closer, just a little bit, تاکہ ایک مجلس کا ماحول ہو جائے گا, it will be a little bit more intimate, and if you please, as you come up, please recite one more salawat, ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Jazakallah, thank you so much. بارے دیگر نعرے صلوات.
برادر نعرہ صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر نیا. ایک در نیا راستہ آقا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر نیا. رکھ چکے ہیں پاؤں بچپن میں جوانی کے ہے دوش پیغمبر نیا. راستہ آقا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر. حامل رایت کو نہ مشق پلٹے بار ڈھونڈتا ہے قلعہ خیبر نیا. راستہ آقا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر. دیکھیے دوش رسالت پر امامت کا میں مؤذن ہے نیا ممبر نیا. راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر. قوم کا میدان دست مرسل جاؤ میں بلے دور میرا میں خانہ نیا ساقی نیا ساغر نیا. راستہ آقا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر. دیکھنا دیوار کعبہ میں بنا ایک در نیا. محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فاتحہ. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. ایک دفعہ بآواز بلند نعرہ صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
قتل کاظم کا دیا حکم جو عباسی نے, سرکلے روضہ اقدس سے پیمبر مرتضیٰ آئے تڑپ کر نجف اشرف سے, بال بکھرائے خلیفہ کے محل میں پہنچے, بال بکھرائے خلیفہ کے محل میں خواب میں اس نے شاہ عقد خوشا کو اور روتے ہوئے محبوب خدا کو اور روتے بے خدا کو
دیکھا
رنگ وہ تنگ و تاریک وہ ہجرا وہ محمد کا قمر روشنی کا نہ جہاں دخل ہوا کا نہ گزر کبھی ہوتی تھی نہ شام اور نہ آتی تھی سحر الفتیں شام کے زندان جفا سے بڑھ کر الفتیں شام کے زندان جفا سے بڑھ کر وہاں سے تم چند گرفتاروں پہ بٹ جاتے یہاں سب ایک ہی قیدی پہ ستم ڈالتے یہاں سب ایک ہی قیدی پہ ستم ڈالتے تھے بے کسی ان کی رقم کرتے ہیں یوں ابن حجر زبر بیداد سے مارا گیا جانے شب 3 دن فرش پہ تڑپا یہ محمد کا جگر بیڑیاں پہنے ہوئے کیسے نکلا مر کر بیڑیاں پہنے ہوئے کیسے نکلا مر کلمہ گو بیٹھے رہے دفن کو حمال پل بغداد پہ لاشے کو یوں ہی ڈالا پل بغداد پہ لاشے کو یوں ہی ڈالا اور بھی حکم ستمگار سے ڈھایا یہ غضب ایک تختے پہ رکھا لاشا سلطان عرب کھنچتے پھرتے رہے کوچہ بکوچہ فاطمہ رو کے پکاری یہ بسد رنج و تاب فاطمہ رو کے پکاری یہ بسد رنج و تاب ہائے تاریخ ہے اب سارا جہاں نظروں پھر گیا لاشائے مسلم کا سامان پھر گیا لاشائے مسلم کا سامان غسل میت کو جو تختے پہ اتارے گئے زیر ملبوس تھے زندان کی سختی ہمراہ ہائے وہ توق گرا اور وہ زنجیر جس میں مردہ کے یہ زیور ہیں شقاوت کے گواہ جس میں مردہ کے یہ زیور ہیں شقاوت کے گواہ لوگ کہتے تھے مسلمان وہ شقی کیسا جس نے زنجیروں میں لاشے کو جگڑ رکھا جس نے زنجیروں میں لاشے کو جگڑ رکھا لاش غربت میں اتاری پسد شے وہ شے کسی بی بی نے کہا میرے نور اس کو دیکھا نہ کسی نے بھی سنے سب نے اے میرے قاضم مظلوم مزادار اے میرے قاضم مظلوم مزادار یاد میں پیاسوں کے منہ اشکوں سے دھونے والی الوداع ہے میرے شبیر کے رونے الوداع ہے میرے شبیر کے رونے قتل کاظم کا دیا حکم جو عباسی نے مولا محمد صلوات شکریہ تھینک یو
جزاک اللہ. One more salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. With that, I would like to now request Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi to address tonight's majlis. Please welcome him with salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Bare digar nare salawat. بر حبیب خدا ختم الانبیاء امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات. جزاک اللہ.
رحم اللہ من قرأ سورة الفاتحة. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين الصراط أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Please recite the Surah Fatiha for Marhuma Dilshad Mahmood binte Mirza Muhammad Ali Beg. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الفاسفين الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Condolences to mu'mineen and mu'minat on this sad occasion upon which we commemorate the Shahadat of our seventh Imam, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. And we send our condolences to Imam of our time on this sad occasion and all those millions of people who are today and tonight are in the bargah of our seventh Imam in Kadhimain. Indeed, if you have been there and you have attended, especially the time of the Shahadat of seventh Imam in Kadhimain, it's majestic. And even if you haven't been there, nowadays you can watch it online as the live coverage of the Shahadat is telecasted. Tonight also, with the name of the marhuma that I recited, is the Soya Majlis for her. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate the status of marhuma, give her a place in the Jiwar of Masumeen alayhi salatu wassalam, and bestow sabr to the bereaved family for the loss that they have suffered. I recited this portion of this lengthy ayah, which of course is not unknown to mu'mineen. These are amongst those ayats of Quran which all the mu'mineen should have it memorized. Just like ayat tathir, ayat of mubahala, this is ayat of Mawaddat. What is it called? Ayat of Mawaddat, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses our Prophet by saying, Qul, O Prophet, tell them, La as'alukum alayhi ajran. I do not seek any compensation and ajr from you, illa al-mawaddata fil qurba, except that you show love to my qarabadar and my family. When you look at this ayat, compare it with the other ayat which other Anbiya have said. So our Prophet, this ayat was revealed for him. The Quran narrates and quotes ayat from the tongue of the other prophets before our Prophet. who had the similar ayat for them, but slight different. Ma as'alukum min ajrin in ajriya illa lallahi illa ala rabbil alameen. That I do not ask you for any ajr, for any compensation. For example, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam is saying this, Ma as'alukum min ajrin. I do not seek any ajr from you. In ajriya illa ala rabbil alameen. My ajr and compensation is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 950 years of tabligh by Hazrat Nuh, he doesn't want anything from you. He says, my ajr, my compensation is with who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only our Prophet is the one who is told to go ahead and ask for the ajr here. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. O Prophet, if they are so insisting, go ahead and ask them. Go ahead and ask them for an ajr and compensation. That I do not seek anything from you, because there's no way that you can pay me back. There's no way that you can compensate me for what I have done for you. إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. Except one thing, which Allah is commanding me. So from this ayat we can understand one thing, that showing mawaddat to Ahlul Bayt is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doing and showing this love to Ahlul Bayt is not a recommendation. Rather, it is a wajib that is being mentioned in the ayat of Quran. And there are two words. In this it says mawaddat. Mawaddat comes from the word wood. The word muhabbat comes from the word hub. So you have hub and you have wood. From them you derive the concept of muhabbat and the concept of mawaddat. Apparently in Arabic, mawaddat is deeper than muhabbat. Muhabbat and mawaddat, we translate them both as same in English as love. But apparently there's a difference between the two translation or the two words as far as the shiddat of love is concerned. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say that قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَحَبَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. He said إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. One of the distinctions which I have mentioned here before at another time, that linguistics have mentioned between muhabbat and mawaddat, is that muhabbat is something which is superficial, that when you see something beautiful, that is called love in the sense of muhabbat. That is not necessarily mawaddat. Love at first sight is muhabbat. But that love is not guaranteed to remain forever. Because if you see something more beautiful, you'll fall in love with that. And that which you had fallen in love 10 years ago, there's a possibility that love starts to decrease. And at times that love even becomes hatred. Someone tied the knot 20 years ago, they fell in love, they got married. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. They had to break the knot. Ended up in a divorce, and they now hate each other. What happened? That's how you loved each other. There was muhabbat. Yeah, it was muhabbat. That's what happens. As time passes by, muhabbat can decrease. And this is where mawaddat is different. As time goes by, mawaddat only increases. With murur-e-zaman, mawaddat increases. With the loss and the death, mawaddat increases. And hence the reason Rasulullah is told what? قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا. That you love my Ahlul Bayt only at certain time. No, this is a command for the continuous love with them as long as you're alive. So therefore, mawaddat has more shiddat than muhabbat. A man came to Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, Haris ibn Abdullah al-Hamadani. He had come to see Imam in the morning, and then he went away. And then during the heat of the day, he comes and knocks on the door of Imam. Imam opens the door, or the ghulam opens the door. He asks for Imam. He goes and sees Imam. Imam says, "Ya Harith, you came to see us in the morning. And you're again here in this heat, in the hot weather of Arabia. What is it that brought you over here? Ma jabika?" He said, "Imam, I just came to see you again because the love that I have for you. I don't want anything. But I saw you in the morning, and now I felt that I should see you once again." Imam ﷺ said, "But you had met me." He said, "But this love of mine dragged me from my house that I should go ahead and do the didar and see my beloved. And that's why I'm here." He's known to be one of the great companions of Imam. Similar incident is with our fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. When an old man came to see Imam. And these are the examples of love. Because love and Mawaddat has different types. We'll explain a few types before we get into some of the fadail of seventh Imam. At once, this Mawaddat is qalbi, through your heart. At point, this Mawaddat is through your tongue. At times, this Mawaddat is through your actions. At times, this Mawaddat is through your kalam, and through your ilm, and through your mal, and as well as through your jaan and your life. These are different mayar of Mawaddat that are mentioned. So this man came to fifth Imam. He said, "Oh Imam, I wanted to tell you that I love you. Uhibbuka wa uhibbu man yuhibbuka. That Imam, I love you and I love those who love you. And similarly, I have hatred towards those who hate you and those who have grudge against you." And number two, he said, "Uhillu ma ahallakum wa uharrimu masalan haramakum." I keep that which is halal for me, which you have decreed to be halal. And I consider that haram for me, which you have considered to be haram. Today, we see this phenomena where people say this to you, as long as person is good at heart, forget about their actions. If they're doing something haram, that's okay, as long as they're good in heart. Dil ka acha hona chahiye. As far as that is concerned, forget about their actions. No. Or people start making their own halal and haram, their own definition of halal and haram. Because they can't understand something is halal or something is haram, they go ahead and make it on their own. And because they do it themselves to justify it, they want everyone else to do it as well. Because why? I'm going to be singled out if I'm doing this by myself. Let's have everybody do this. Baba, it's haram. It's haram. It's haram for everyone. You may not understand it today. That's one thing. But that does not mean you go ahead and make everyone do this haram. Sometimes the haram is individual. And at times this haram is in jama'at. If, for example, you know that something is halal or something is known to be haram, Shariat has talked about it. إِنَّمَا الْخَمْرُ وَالْمَيْسِرُ وَالْأَزْلَامُ وَالْأَنْسَابُ رِجْسٌ مِّنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ. Quran mentions these four things are haram. We say, well, I don't really think that this should be haram. It does not fit in my mind yet that it should be haram. So some people develop and their own halal and haram. They have their own concept of halal and haram. This man said, Imam, whatever you consider halal, I consider it to be halal. And whatever you consider haram, I consider it to be haram. And third, Imam, antaziru farajakum. I am anticipating the day when you are in control and in power, because you are usurped of this power that should be in the hands of imams. Imam ﷺ said, these are your beliefs, and this is what you utter is true. If you're sadiq in what you're saying, that you are in the maqam, which is the maqam of Aimma Athar in Jannat. Just merely what? That I love you and I love those who love you. Meaning what? Not just loving Aimma Athar, but loving those who are also the followers and mawali of Aimma Athar. How is it that we sometimes differentiate between the different Shias? We love these Shias from this part of the world, but we don't love those. The Shias from that side are, they're weird. I don't know. They do things. No, they're Shia, they're followers of Ahlul Bayt. There's one thing that unites us all, and that is the Muhabbat and the Mawaddat of Ahlul Bayt. So therefore, don't differentiate. These are the Mawalis, these are the Malangs, these are the Wahhabi Shias, and these are the normal Shias. Different categories of Shias that we have. No. So Imam ﷺ said to him, I'll give you the answer what my father had given. Someone came to my father and said the same exact thing. And my father said, if someone loves us and loves our followers, someone considers our halal to be halal and our haram to be haram, and someone waits and awaits our faraj, then that person will be with us in Qayamat near Hawd Kawthar. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that is the first category of mawaddat, through your heart, through your qalb. The second category of mawaddat is through your tongue. Make sure that you speak out, use this tongue. Should not be shying away from your association with Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Don't shy away from it. People gave their tongues for this. Musa mein Tammar, the example is in front of you. He was told when he was caught and captured by Ibn Ziyad Mal'un, he said, I'll definitely kill you. Musa bin Tammar said, I know you're my killer. You will kill me. And I'll actually tell you how you'll kill me. This is the tree that my Maula had told me. You'll hang me with this tree and you'll, cut off my tongue. Ibn Ziyad said, I'll prove your Maula that he was wrong. I'll tie you to the tree, but I won't cut off your tongue. He tied him to the tree. 2 days later, the workers of Ibn Ziyad come and say, you better come and see what's happening. There's a large gathering of Mawaliyan Ali ibn Abi Talib that are gathered around Musa bin Tammar, and Musa is reciting the Fazail of Ali. He was majboor to go ahead and cut off the tongue. He said, you can't change what my Mawla has already predicted. People like Ammar Yasir, who never shied away from telling the truth. They use Hujr ibn Adi. All of these are examples. Hujr ibn Adi is someone whose grave and his son's grave was dug in front of them. And they were given the option, go ahead and denounce the love of Ahlul Bayt and Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, there's no compromise on that. And of course, he knew they will kill me. So these are the people who showed their love through their tongues, with their tongue. So hubbe qalbi, hubbe lisani, the third type of love. And this is where you and I sometimes lapse and fall behind. Hubbe, the love and the mawaddat through our actions. We might be the first ones to have the shi'ar. Yes, you should name your children Ali and Hassan and Hussein and Fatima and Sakina and Ruqayya. This is love. This is one way of displaying your love. You should do Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. That is using your tongue and showing love to them. There's sawab in saying Hussein, Hussein. But you know where is the greater sawab? That along with saying Hussein, Hussein and Ali, you are displaying it through your amal and your actions as well. The action of the follower of Ali should not be something that if Imam Ali was to see it, would be ashamed of it. You know what sixth Imam has said? Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. Kunu lana zaynan wa la takunu alayna shaynan. Be a means of zinat for us. Be a means of embellishment and honor and reverence for us. That when people see this is the person who's the follower of sixth Imam. وَلَا تَكُونُوا عَلَيْنَا شَيْئًا. And do not be a means of disgrace for us. When you call yourself to be Shia to Ali, and then you lie. You call yourself to be Shia to Ali, and then you fraud. You fraud someone else, defraud them. You call yourself to be Shia to Ali, and then you commit haram and sins. This is where the contradiction is. Maybe the level of your love still is very weak. Very weak. Because Shia Ali cannot be combined, the Shi'at and the followership. What is Shia? Let's understand that as well. The word Shia and the word Ahl Sunnah, right? These are the two madhahib that are known in Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This concept of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah came into existence in the time of Amir Sham. I challenge you, go look into their books. You'll find the word Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'at was first introduced by Amir Sham. And what are they say? Shia, they're the product of Abdullah ibn Sabah. A Jew, for example, who made this religion, and today the Shias all over the world are the product of that. So, and then a lot of people will come in the middle, those who are, consider themselves to be the reformers. It's like there's no Shia, there's no Sunni. It's all just Muslim. True. The only the categorization of it is why? Because when the ayat of Surah Bayyana were revealed, Ulaika hum khairul bariyah. Rasulullah was there. He received these ayat. People asked, "Oh Rasulullah, who are these khairul bariyah?" He pointed towards Amir al-Mu'minin and he said, "Ya Ali, anta wa shi'atuka hum khairul bariyah." So the word Shia was used in the time of Rasulullah for those who were the followers of Ali. So it's not like we're saying this madhab came into existence. No, it continued from the time Rasulullah left this world. The continuity of the madhab-e-nab was from Rasulullah. So when these two are differentiated, let us know that this is the reason one of the scholars of our time, Tijani Samawi, wrote a book, Shi'ahum Ahl Sunnah, right? He said Shia are the ones who are the Ahl Sunnah. Why? They are the ones who follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah. What is Ahl Sunnah? Ahl Sunnah is the one who follows the Sunnah of Rasul. What is the sunnah of Rasul? قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. He said, don't follow, I don't ask anything except love for my Ahlul Bayt. And today you see. He said, well, don't question our love. We may not display our love the way you do, by holding majalis, by holding mahafil, but we definitely don't hate them. True. This is not the mayar to measure someone's love. You might love them more than me. But I know one thing, that along with this love, I also know that Imams are happy and they're pleased when I show grudge and hatred towards their enemies. I would never praise the enemies of Imam. I would never equate. I would never go ahead and give them a free pass that maybe, benefit of the doubt, this person may have committed tawbah, and therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them. Let's not go ahead and go down that road. Before the discussion gets out of hand, and I usually keep it in line, bringing you back to this. That Imams tell us this, that if you are the Shia, your kirdar and your behavior and your character should align with what Imams have told you. So the third category of Muhabbat is what? Through your actions, through your af'al, through your amal. If the amal of a person is contrary to the amal of Imam and you say, I love Imam, this is not something which will be acceptable. When a teacher comes, and this love is for you. Ahlul Bayt and Qarabat Dar, they don't benefit anything from it. You benefit from this love. How so? Imagine a teacher who comes to the class the first day, teaching Quran. He said, I hope my compensation, the true compensation for my class is that all of you learn to read Quran. He said, my true compensation is not the one which my employer is going to pay me. My true compensation is when you learn what I have come to teach you. So when you learn what he came to teach, who's benefiting from it? You are benefiting from it. When Rasulullah said, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. When you show this love to them through your tongues, through your heart, through your af'al, through your actions, and sometimes through your qalam. And today, in this day and age, through your social media. You may not be the best of the writers, but you use social media all day long. No wonder Masumeen had said, all you need to do is get the beauty of our kalam to the masses, they will be attracted towards it on their own. Get the mahasin and the good sayings of Imam Masumeen. But for that, we need to first implement them in our lives. It's very easy to hit that forward button. You get tons of forwards all day long. Kalam Imam, Hadith Imam, Hadith Imam. As many times as we forward, wish we should learn it and implement it ourselves in the beginning. And it really would be worthwhile. Seventh Imam, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim alayhi salatu wasalam, lived in a time which was a very difficult time indeed. Imam has at least these four brothers. I'll mention two of them. One is Abdullah Aftah. People came to him telling him that you should declare imamat. You know how some mawali get around and they become the murid and they present and they promote you. And of course, they have their own agenda behind it. Abdullah Aftah was not one of those children of sixth Imam who was in line with the teachings of Imam. This could happen. So he created this madhab-e aftahiyya. Similarly, in the time of fourth Imam, people declined the imamat of fourth Imam. The Kaysaniya, right? You heard about them. And then similarly, the fifth Imam, people denied the imamat of fifth Imam. Zaydiyya came into existence. Seventh Imam, after his Shahadat, the Waqifiyya came into existence. Those who said we only had 7 Imams, we don't need any more Imams. Seventh Imam went into occultation. So he has one brother by the name Abdullah Aftah. He has another brother by the name Ismail. You all know Ismail. Today, one of the largest followers who are part of the Shia madhab, by the way. Shish Imami, 6 Imami, Ismaili. Ismail, son of 6th Imam, who was a pious man, by the way. Never declared his imamat. Never considered him to be at the level of 6th Imam. Or 7th Imam for that matter. And here we see the wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused him, Ismail, to die before the Shahadat of 6th Imam. So that there shouldn't be any doubt in the minds of the people that who is the next Imam. Yeah, what happened? Some people started considering him to be Imam after 6th Imam. And it's one of the then they considered his son, Muhammad ibn Ismail, to be the Imam. And today they have their 49th Imam, who is still, the lineage is still continuing, their 49th Imam. Although Khanis, they had a split, but nonetheless, they go back to the same route. So 7th Imam's time is difficult from that aspect. Waqi' Fakh takes place in the time of 7th Imam, where many of the family members of Ali Abi Talib were killed. 7th Imam's time is tough as is. You hear about the 14 years of Imam's imprisonment, but prior to that, Imam, even when he's at home, he's sort of like in a prison. There's constant watch. They're looking, the surveillance upon Imam. To the extent, this is where Imam comes into the help and the support of his followers. You've all heard of the name of one of the closest companions of Imam, Ali ibn Yaqteen, whom Imam placed at that position in the court of Harun, so that he would be able to help out. And there was a purpose behind it. These are the words that Imam uttered to Ali ibn Yaqteen. He said, Ya ibn Yaqteen, Ya Aliyo, O Ali, kaffaratu amalikum al-ihsanu ila ikhwanikum. Is the kafara and the compensation for the work that you're doing in the court of Harun, ila ikhwanikum, I'll tell you what I'll guarantee for you. Imam said, Udman or idman li wahidatun, idman li wahidatan, you promise one thing to me, wa admana laka thalathan, and I'll promise 3 things back to you. Imam is, Kareem. And especially our 7th Imam, one of his titles is Kareem. He's Babul Hawaij. He's Kareem, Jalil, and Wara. These are the 3 titles that are mentioned exclusively for 7th Imam. Kareeman, Jalilan, wa Wara'an. So he's Kareem. He says what? Ya Ali kaffaratu amalikum al-ihsanu ila akhwanikum. The kafara for your amal is what? Ihsan. What is the kafara? You're working for our enemy. Working for the enemies of Ma'soom, Imam Ma'soom, is not permissible. It's not allowed. But because you're working, you have to pay kafara. What is the kafara? Al-ihsanu ila akhwanikum. That you should treat your brethren with ihsan. And then Imam said on top of that, now you're doing kafara. For example, you break a fast, you pay the kafara. You're done, right? Imam said, no, on top of that, I'll add 3 more things. This is the Kareem ibn Kareem. That's why Imam's sister, Imam's daughter, is also known as Karima Ahl Bayt, Bibi Masuma Qum. Imagine, 17 days she spent in the city of Qum, which is now the Mecca of the Islamic institutions and education. That's the barakat. This is the barakat. What are these three things? Let me go through this quickly. Admin laka thalathan. Admin li an la talqa ahadan min awliyaina illa qazayta hajatahu. Guarantee one thing for me, that promise me that when you meet one of the followers and the friends of ours, you will fulfill their needs and honor them. You are sitting in as an advisor, as a wazir to the Khalifa of the time, king of the time. Because it wasn't really khilafat, it's mulukiyat basically. You're sitting with the king. So you have a lot in your possession. What are you going to do? Whenever you see one of our mawali and our followers, you're going to go ahead and show graciousness towards them, honor them, and fulfill their needs. He says, إِلَّا قَضَيْتَ حَاجَتَهُ وَأَكْرَمْتَهُ وَأَدْمِنْ لَكَ أَنْ لَا يُذِلَّكَ سَقْفُ سِجْنٍ أَبَدًا. That's all I ask you. He said, I ask you one thing. Whenever you come across one of our followers, and look, this kalam of Imam is not only to Ali ibn Yaqteen. This kalam of Imam to all of us. That whenever you come across one of our followers, how should you be with them? And you say you should honor them, you should respect them, and you should fulfill their hajat. If a moment comes to you with his hajat, don't shun them away. Don't turn them down, especially if you're capable of helping them. You know why? The kalam of Imam to Ali ibn Yaqteen holds true for you as well. What Ali ibn Yaqteen was receiving from 7th Imam, you will receive from Imam of your time. That's the dhamanat that is being given. And the dhamanat made by Imam Masoom is not in vain. So Imam said, you do this one thing for me. I'll do these three things and I'll guarantee these three things for you. What are the three things? In return, I promise you the following. Allah yudhillaka saqfu sijnin abadan. You will never be under the shadow of a prison ever. Meaning what? You'll never go into a prison. You know who's guaranteeing Ali ibn Yaqteen that he will never step into a prison? The one who himself spent 14 years in the prison. Imagine. He said, I guarantee that you will never put a step into a prison. وَلَا يَنَالَكَ حَدُّ سَيْفٍ أَبَدًا. The sword will never harm you. Sword will never reach your neck. وَلَا يَدْخُلَ الْفَقْرُ بَيْتُكَ أَبَدًا. And poverty will never strike your house. You just got to do one thing for me. Take care of my followers. Look at the love first Imam has for his followers, that he's guaranteeing these three things to Ali. He said, Ya Ali, man sarra mu'minan, فَبِاللَّهِ بَدَعَا وَبِالنَّبِيِّ ثَنَّا وَبِنَا ثَلَثًا. He said, whoever makes a mu'min happy, first it reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it reaches Nabi at the second stage, then it reaches us, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. So don't undermine what you're doing, O Ali. Ali ibn Yaqteen, indeed, Imam took care of him. There were times, of course, Ali ibn Yaqteen was performing the salat and psalm and wudu the way Imam had taught him. But then one day Imam sends him a message. He says to him, Oh Ali ibn Yaqteen, from now on, start doing wudu the way the hukumat does. Start praying the way they pray. He said, why Maula? Of course, he didn't say, why Maula? Because they were the companions who never questioned Ma'sumin. He started doing it. He said, Imam told me to do wudu the way they do wudu. Imam told me to start folding my hands while I'm praying. Let alone that Harun had sent people to check out because someone had complained that Ali ibn Yaqteen is a Shia. He's a close companion of Musa ibn Ja'far, and he helps out the followers. So let's keep an eye on him. They started spying on him to see if he was Shia. They saw him doing wudu the way the hukumat and the people in the hukumat do wudu, and they saw him praying the way the salat was Raj in the Hukumat at that time. They pulled their hands. And then he went back to praying the way. This was taqiyya. Taqiyya was introduced. Dissimulation was introduced. And then at another point, this person said, I know we failed at catching him praying the way the Shias pray. But now I have solid proof. Ali ibn Yaqeen, the gifts, O Harun, you have given to him, he has given it to Musa ibn Ja'far. Ali ibn Yaqeen had brought this khullat that he had received from Harun and had given it to Imam. When he gave it to Imam, Imam said, no, Ali, keep it with you for some time and we'll take it from you when we need it. Ali took it back home. They raided his house and they knew that he had already given it to Imam. But when they opened up the sanduq, they found that khullat was still sitting there. So when Imam is backing you, when Imam is giving zamanat to you, these are of course the incidents that happened because Imam was close to him. We live in the time of a ghaib Imam. But don't think for a second that ghaib Imam is not watching over you. And this claim is not merely a claim. I'll prove that through the ayat of Quran. Ayat of Quran, I don't remember the ayat number, but you can look it up these days. Now read the ayat to Google and it'll tell you which ayat it is. قُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. قُلْ اعْمَلُوا. Ayat says, go ahead and perform action. فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ. Allah sees your action. وَرَسُول sees your action. وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And there are certain mu'mineen who see your action. Now who is this mu'min that is standing in the category of Allah and Rasul? Alhamdulillah, we call each other mu'mineen, right? Mu'mineen, mashallah, mu'mineen are sitting here. Mu'mineen are here. But how many of you know what I did this morning or from this morning or since yesterday or this weekend or the past week? Are you watching over my actions every day? Are you aware of my amal? Even my family may not be aware of my amal. Right? But who's aware? Allah is aware. Can anyone say that Allah did not see, na'udhu billah, what I did yesterday? No. Alam ya'alam bi anna Allah yara. Allah sees everything. Can anyone say Rasul didn't see? That is one of the reasons we consider Prophet to be high and alive. Look at the point over here. فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Allah sees, yes. Allah is Hayyul Qayyum. Ayat of Quran is saying that Prophet is also seeing. If he died in the 11th year after Hijrah, how is he seeing? And that's why you say, Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. You say, Assalamu alayka. Alayka is to the mukhatib, the one who is standing in front of you. We do not consider him to be dead. Why? وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ. They're hayat. They're alive. That is the same Prophet. And one of the other things about this madhab that we follow. Prophet said, this hadith is muttafaq alayh. He says, سَتُفْرَقُ أُمَّتِي. My ummat will be divided into ثلاثة وسبعين فرقا or فرقة. That my ummat after me will be divided into 73 firaq, sects. This far, everybody agrees. There's a later part of it as well. Rasulullah said, كلهم في النار إلا واحد. All of them are in Jahannam except one. My ummat will divide into 73 sects. All are in Jahannam except one. All in Jahannam. Tilka, that is the firqatun najiyah, Rasulullah says. These are the words of the riwayat. Tilka firqatun najiyah. That my ummat will divide into 73 firaq, all of whom are in Jahannam except one, and that one is Firqa Najiyah. Now, of course, our brothers say, well, that is the firqa of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah without any dalil. We say that is the firqa of the followers of Maktab Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Why? He said, what is your dalil, Maulana? Their claim, they say, your claim, what is your claim? There's a key word in this. Rasulullah gave you the answer. When he said tilka, that is the firqatun najiyah. Where have you heard the word najiyah? He said, Mathalu ahle bayti ka masale safinat nuhin. Man dakhalaha, man rakibaha, naja. The example of my Ahl Bayt is the example of the Safina in Nuh. Whoever boarded the ship of Nuh, whoever boarded the ark of Ahl Bayt, Najah, has indeed secured Najat. Rasulullah said, after me there will be 73 firaq. All of them are in Jahannam except one, Fatilka. That is the one which is Tilkatun Najiyah. That is the firqa Najiyah. Over here Rasulullah is saying, my Ahl Bayt are the ones who are Najiyah. You put these two riwayat together, you understand this is the madhab-e Naji. Salawat bhiji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bringing you towards the close. Imam alayhi salatu wassalam was brought into present-day Baghdad. And Imams suffer from one prison to another prison. Harun would send Imam. In fact, there's a tradition, I don't have time to go into it. He actually goes to the haram of Rasulullah and he says, I plan on killing Musa ibn Ja'far. He sends him to one prison, asks the prison guard to make sure that you show as toughness as possible and be as strict as possible. The man sees that this man, all he does is spends all night doing the ibadat and the dhikr and the sujood. And he spends the day in the state of fasting, barely eats anything, barely says anything. In fact, when Imam is spending his nights in sajda, they would go and listen to what Imam was saying. He said, all we heard was, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. All we heard was, Ya Allahu, Ya Allahu, Ya Allah. He said, we didn't hear anything against the government. You want us to be strict with this man? Take him out of that prison, send him to another prison. These are the people who were chosen. Why? Because they had grudge against Masumin. But this is where we see that even spending one day with such people, Imam would be able to transform them. Not by saying something, not by doing tabligh to them, through their amal and through their action. Why? Kunu du'atan linnase bighayri alsinatikum. Guide people to our path without having used your tongue. Anyone can sit here and give a lengthy speech, but very few would be able to lead by their amal and actions. And therefore Imam ﷺ went from that prison. That man said, how can I be strict on him? He takes Imam out of the prison, from that dungeon, where it was very difficult for Imam to even stand up. He provides Imam this sahan, Imam, stand here and do your ibadat. Someone reported to Harun that that man is also not being strict on Imam. Then finally, Imam was sent into the prison of Sindi ibn Shahik, the mal'oon who eventually is responsible through the hukum of the ruler of the time, taking the life of Imam. Sindi ibn Shahik shows that animosity that he had. Makes it difficult for Imam, as it is, was very difficult. But shows no remorse whatsoever for his amal and his actions. To the extent that Imam ﷺ was poisoned. But Hukumat wanted to show that we had nothing to do with the death of Musa ibn Jafar. And therefore the tabib were brought to go ahead, and the doctors were called in to go ahead and see that there aren't any foul play when it comes to Imam. He's not been strangled. He has not been poisoned. Nothing that was done by the Hukumat. We didn't want anything to do with it. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam died in the prison of Baghdad. His janazah was then brought out and placed on the Jasr of Baghdad. They were asking, whose janazah is it? Whose janazah it is? They said, this is the janazah of the Imam of Rafidah. This is how Masumeen were treated. For 3 days, the janazah sits on the Jasr of Baghdad, the bridge of Baghdad, until one of the family members of Harun comes and takes and calls people to come and lift the janazah of Musa ibn Jafar. With all the shuku and with all the shan and shawkat, people gather, and the janazah of Imam was taken and buried in Kadhimiyah, those who have visited that place. I say, oh Imam, you spent 14 years, some riwayat mention, in prisons. It was very difficult for you. You were away from your family. Your daughter, Masume Qum, was only 10 years old when you left this world. Your son, Imam Radha, was only 25 years old when you left this world. And while you had 37 kids, and none could come for your rescue, O Imam. You imagine, if you say someone is gharib, someone doesn't have their own family, doesn't have their children, the Imam has 37 children, but none can come towards the last rituals of Imam, but nonetheless, the Imam Ba'ad was there to take care of the last rituals. Imam's janazah was eventually lifted from the pool of the Baghdad. It was taken to its last place of resting. But I say, oh Imam, with all due respect and all the masaib that you faced, La yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah, your Jad Hussain, you look at his tragedy, that Imam Hussain, your janazah laid on the Jasr of Baghdad for 3 days. Hussein's bare body was in the plains of Karbala for 3 days. Ya Hussein.
मजदूरों के कांधों पर काजिम का जनाजा है। मजदूरों के कांधों पर काजिम का जनाजा है। मजदूरों के कांधों पर काजिम का जनाजा है। बगदाद के कैदी पर, बगदाद के कैदी पर जिंदान भी रोता है। मजदूरों के कांधों पर काजिम का जनाजा 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 है। बगदाद के कैदी पर, बगदाद के कैदी पर जिंदान भी रोता है। मजदूरों के कांधों पर کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے اس درد نے تربت میں سجاد کو درد پایا، زندہ سے نکل کر بھی آزاد نہ ہو پایا، ہے پہلا جنازہ جو ہے پہلا جنازہ جو زنجیروں میں جکڑا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے زنجیروں کو تکتی ہے، شانوں کو ہلاتی ہے، میت کو کبھی اپنی گودی میں اٹھاتی ہے، ایک ہاتھ ہے پہلو پر، ایک ہاتھ ہے پہلو پر، لگتا ہے یہ زہرا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، ہے ذرے بھی لہو رو کر روداد سناتے ہیں، قدموں کے نشان اس کے زندہ میں بتاتے ہیں، یہ نظر کے عالم میں، یہ نظر کے عالم میں کس طرح سے تڑپا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا ہے جو لوگ گزرتے ہیں آپس میں یہ کہتے ہیں، گھر والوں تو یثرب میں اس قیدی کے رہتے ہیں، پھر اس کے جنازے پر یہ کون ضعیفہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے زنجیروں کو تکتی ہے، شانوں کو ہلاتی ہے، میت کو کبھی اپنی گودی میں اٹھاتی ہے، ایک ہاتھ ہے پہلو پر، لگتا ہے یہ زہرا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے کہتی ہے کوئی بی بی ہے وقت مصیبت کا، اب جلد مدینے سے آ جاؤ رضا جا، بے گور و کفن کب سے، بے گور و کفن کب سے، بیٹا تیرا بابا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کانوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کانوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے کہتی ہے کوئی بی بی ہے وقت مصیبت کا، اب جلد مدینے سے آ جاؤ رضا جا، بے گور و کفن کب سے، بے گور و کفن کب سے، بیٹا تیرا بابا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے بغداد کے قیدی پر، بغداد کے قیدی پر زندان بھی روتا ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ ہے مزدوروں کے کاندھوں پر، کاظم کا جنازہ
السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا نبی اللہ، السلام علیکم یا حبیب اللہ، السلام علیکم یا خیرۃ اللہ، السلام علیکم امیر المؤمنین و سید الوصیین، السلام علیکم فاطمۃ الزہرا سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیکم یا سبط الرحمہ و امام الہدی الحسن والحسین سید شباب اہل الجنہ، السلام علیکم علی بن الحسین و محمد بن علی و جعفر بن محمد و موسیٰ بن جعفر، السلام علیکم یا ولی اللہ و ابن ولی، السلام علیکم یا حجت اللہ و ابن حجت، السلام علیکم یا صفی اللہ و ابن صفی، السلام علیکم یا امین اللہ و ابن امین، السلام علیکم یا نور اللہ فی ظلمات الارض، السلام علیکم یا امام الہدی، السلام علیکم یا علم الدین والتقی، السلام علیکم یا خازن علم النبیین، السلام علیکم یا خازن علم المرسلین، السلام علیکم یا نائب الاوصیاء السابقین، السلام علیکم یا معدن الوحی المبین، السلام علیکم یا صاحب العلم الیقین، السلام علیکم یا عیبۃ علم المرسلین، السلام علیکم ایھا الامام الصالح، السلام علیکم ایھا الامام الزاہد، السلام علیکم ایھا الامام العابد، السلام علیکم ایھا الامام السید الرشید، السلام علیکم ایھا المقتول الشہید، السلام علیکم یا ابن رسول اللہ و ابن وصیہ، السلام علیکم یا مولا یا موسیٰ ابن جعفر ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم علی ابن محمد وحسن ابن علی، السلام علیکم صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام علیکم امام الانس والجان، السلام علیکم شریک القرآن، عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسہل اللہ مخرجک وظہورک وجعلنا من اعوانک وانصارک